Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon is claiming that the future of Scotland is on the line in the general election. She has spent St Andrew's Day focusing on the debate for independence.
In this election, people in Scotland are being asked a fundamental question. Who should decide our future? The people who live here or Boris Johnson?
In the remaining days of this election, that is the only question that Nicola Sturgeon believes she needs to ask. And where better to ask it on St Andrew's Day, but St Andrews itself, a few miles from Arbroath, the historic home of the birth of the Scottish nation, and the most marginal constituency in the country to boot, with a majority of just 2. She is confident. Polls predict a surge for her party and for independence too, and yet this country is facing its 5th national vote in 6 years, and now she wants 2 more.
People just want just a period of stability.
But they're not going to get that and that's what, because I do get the sense that people feel frustrated, they feel scunnered, they feel weary. I'm not sure if it's the case, especially in Scotland, but certainly it is there.
It's been going on for longer. You've had these
it's there in Scotland, but I think people also understand that if Boris Johnson gets the majority, if Brexit proceeds, it's not the end of it.
How are you feeling about the election?
Some say a Tory majority government can itself unilaterally quell another referendum. It is perhaps a view which understands politics here, the forces unleashed, precious little.
They can only keep refusing us that referendum for so long. You know, eventually we're going to have that, whether Boris Johnson likes it or not.
I think we'll give the Tories a fright.
What's good enough? How many seats?
Between 8 and 10.
How would you react if Boris Johnson wins this election and then turns around to Nicola Sturgeon and says you can't have a referendum?
Well, Scotland should declare independence. They've got every right to do it. They've got every right to do it.
But it's also true to say that things are more complicated than they seem. Talk to any Scot for long, like those in Stirling Rambling Club, and you remember that though Scottish politics feel so different from the rest of the Union, it is so much the same complete confusion and contradictions too.
So how are you all feeling about this election?
Oh, fed up.
Fed up?
Sure. A lot of us would like independence, not all of us, but we don't. Some of us don't want Brexit, some of us do. So
it's crisscrossed in every direction.
Yes.
It's divided.
We're torn.
Torn. Very first time I voted SNP.
So you don't want independence, but you vote SNP?
And I don't want Brexit either. So.
What they really care about is their independence. Why vote SNP?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure.
I was talking to voters in Stirling yesterday. I was very, very struck. The number of voters there who absolutely say they're going to vote for you, nonetheless, quite a few of them said to me, actually, we don't want independence. So it's not quite as clear-cut as that, is it?
Look, I mean, the polls suggest, and polls are polls, I concede that, but the polls suggest support for independence is rising, support for having that choice is increasing. But, of course, if people don't want independence, then they get the opportunity to vote against independence in a referendum.
This election was called by a Prime Minister asking who governs. It might yield an answer for the UK, but with the result in Scotland likely so at variance with everywhere else, it is a question which will linger here and grow louder still.